Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Hey, look at the dogs are wrestling. Can you check it out? Blue, it's actually, look at it. Chloe and Gracie. They're wrestling. They're buddies now. Can you believe it? They're buddies. Yeah, I can't see him very good, but look at Blue. Look how tired he is, and they're playing. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, man. I guess that's what's kind of sad is like Blue is so, he used to play, and now he's kind of, I have that heater. See that blue heater back there? It's kind of blowing on him. I think he likes it. I wish that camera was more panned over to those guys. You could see them wrestling. Hey, hold on. Oh. Yeah. All right. Anyways, there we are. I don't use the StreamYards too often, but figured I'd try it tonight. Hey, thanks, Karen. So, what is your guys' take out there? You see, I don't listen to. I mean, I just watch portions of some of these attorneys and so forth, and I get like physically ill and angry that I just want to, and not because it's just because I know what they're saying is just mumbo jumbo to the public. They're not really giving you the evidence that you just go, oh, yeah, wow, geez, there you go. And then I had this one comment under my community post. Here's what they said. Here, I'll see if I can find that real quick. Yeah. No, you didn't have to tell me. I already knew who those people were, Karen. You didn't tell me that. All right, let's see. You act like I'm not dialed into what's going on around here. I see it. I know it. Let's see. It said. Oh, it's weird. How come I can't get to my community section? Strange. Let's see if I can find it. She wrote something specifically. I don't know. That's odd, though. I don't know how I can't get to my community section. Is it did they add more tabs recently or what? Maybe it's YouTube Studio. And there's your channel. Let me try that one. Oh, that was the one. I hit the wrong button. Thank you, Wendy Van Rokel. What do you mean, what people? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, underneath my prosecution is going to bring up Google searches. The last comment made was, how rude, so rude, calling down other creators on your YouTube. Very bitter. I said, I'm not bitter. I'm disgusted. Go back to your cave. See you later. Just don't have time. Yep, there you go. That's what you get, man. Bitter. Like, what, bitter? Bitter about what? Like, I'm just disgusted. You know, like what are you angry about me talking down to the creators who are trashing Kelsey and the family? Is that what you're angry about? Thank you. What happened to Esma Budget's message? It disappeared. Thanks for keeping us updated on everything. All right. Yeah, I missed the comment. Didn't see it. No, the super chat disappeared. Oh, it's still there. I can see it on my end. I don't know why it disappeared. Was it? Was there a negative comment in there? Maybe it was. I don't know. No, no, Karen, you said you told me about those guys, but I already know about those attorneys. I've been watching them for a long time. That's what I was talking about. I don't know what you mean by what people. I don't know that one. I agree about the reason Richard Allen stayed that long in the woods. I think he had not anticipated to be that bloody soaked, so he wanted to wait till sunset. But I don't know. I think he was doing something else there. I mean, nobody really knows, but I don't know. I think whatever he was doing, that's what he was wanting to do on the other side. Write fast and didn't make sense. Oh, well, I bet you know what? It would have made sense because there's something called girl code where they can decipher, you guys can decipher what girls say just easily. I mean, if a woman went, in typing, you'd say, oh, yes, I went to the store yesterday and I bought a ring. All right. Every guy looks at it and goes, I have no idea what you're saying. Right? Happens all the time in here, but like I don't know what Karen says 90% of the time, but everybody else does. Esther M gifted a membership to, and guess who got it? Esma Budgets. We even have a emoji for girl code. It looks like this. See that? It's got the woman symbol with like digital 0101, the binary. Because I've learned over on here, you guys are sitting there chatting away, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about, and you're all just so engaged, and there isn't one single clue that would help somebody like me understand what you're talking about. And yet, there you guys go, over and over. It's amazing. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I guess I got to use, when you're in StreamYards, you can click on that. See, it goes at the bottom, and it covers my entire face. That's probably good. There's Karen. All right. So, what the hell do you guys want to talk about tonight? I'm just frustrated. I said I was coming on later. There's an Indie Star article we could try to maybe go over and see what that one has. Everybody seems to have different information. Poor Ricky. Of course, he's shaved. Doesn't want to have the gray beard that he has in the bridge guy picture. I think it's a travesty that the judge didn't allow pictures of what Richard Allen looked like back then. You know, to me, it's bizarre. What do you do? Somebody lets himself waste away, and then you don't get to say, well, look, this is what he looked like. You know, it doesn't have to be a side by side or anything, but you say, this is what he looked like. What do you mean you have no idea? You said those two attorneys. Never mind. I don't have time. You said I told you those two were going to be double trouble. And then just above that, you said, or I said, I was mentioning the two attorneys out there, and you said they would be double trouble. And I said, see what I'm saying? I don't want to go through the code there. It's too difficult. What I should do is move the, probably put that up there. Something like that. Then it's just kind of, well, I do have this screen too, though. Could do that one with me on the side, and then go back to my, like that. There you go. That's kind of cool. I'm trying to use StreamYard. It's hard to do because I use OBS Studio for the camera, and that allows me a whole bunch of different options to use as my camera, the one that where you see me. I can put anything on there. The other one is whatever's on the screen on the middle monitor. Let's see. I think unfortunately there's a woman with psychology experience. Like that's what she's been, and somebody like that's going to really sort of jump in the yes now and want to show how they're just so sympathizing and in with the sort of the psychological angle. Oh, I'm muffled. Oh, let me see. Let me check my mics. Hold on. Because usually when I use this, it switches me. I'm muffled, huh? Let's see. What does it have me on? Volume, input device, output. No, it has me on the right ones. I don't know. Is it something wrong with it, or what's wrong with it? Seems right. Oh, yeah, I'm really low. Yeah, weird. I see it over here. Let me try that again. Oh yeah, geez, look at that. How about now? Is that better? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't really know how to fix it because this program automatically does stuff. So let me see if I go to settings, audio. How about if I turned off echo cancellation and reduce my background noise? How about now? Is that better sounding to you guys, or? Okay. It's ineligible to you, Gamma? Well, you probably need a new computer then. Everybody else can hear it. So if anybody else can hear it and it sounds good, that means it's on your end, not mine. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. There it is. Yeah, I mean, it's weird how it automatically seems to be making my mic lower. I can see it actually moving on the screen. It's weird. See this right here? This mic level? It's at 48, and I go there and I go testing 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 testing. hello, hello, and then all of a sudden a minute later it'll be down to like there, and I didn't move it. But maybe I'll just keep it open over here on the side. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? You sounded fine the whole time. Yeah, so maybe I'm working on something where I actually sounded normal. That's unfortunate. I did turn off the echo cancellation, but if I take calls on StreamYard, then I'd probably turn that back on again. All right, I'll just go over this. The first full day of the defense testimonies in the Delphi. That was yesterday. I thought this was today. Oh, that was yesterday. Forget it. Three hours ago. Maybe try that one. See if there's anything new. Jurors in the double murder trial of Richard Allen on Saturday were shown more than a dozen videos of Allen while he was being held in the Westville Correctional Facility. Welcome, G4L. You actually want me to try to pronounce that? Let's see. GL4. Let's see. GL for Hidden Radio. Okay. Allen is charged with killing Liberty German. Yeah, we know. Thank you. The state objected to the videos being shown in court. Yep, we know that. Judge Francis Gold ruled the videos could be shown to the jury while the monitor showing the videos were pointed away from the courtroom gallery where the media and public were sitting. Allen couldn't even see what was being shown. The defense shared two exhibits, camcorder video and master sheet for the video. So I guess the camcorder is the video that was just on him. The master sheet included a contains nudity category. I don't know, it's really strange that they really cared about Richard Allen's, his dignity, when I guess they don't really care that in afterlife, they don't really give a damn about the dignity of Abby and Libby because they showed the autopsy photos to everybody. And yeah, it's a little weird, right? I mean, why can't people see if you're in the courtroom, you should be able to see every single thing that the jury sees. And there's really no reason for that. I don't give a damn. I mean, Richard Allen, in my opinion, and I think it's factual, is the killer of Abby and Libby. He is, in fact, the bridge guy. No matter what somebody tries to do to spin out of it, Richard Allen is the bridge guy. God, it's asking me to tell me who I am over here. What does it want me to do? Yeah, do that. All right. Shit. Oh, good. All right. Matt wanted me to verify who I was on my computer to my live stream. I mean, that was a pretty precarious moment there. How strange. But great. So hey guys, let's get some memberships in here. If you want to help support the channel with a comment, we'll put on the screen and discuss it. I actually liked that. You know, at the end of that show we just did a minute ago, or earlier today, not a minute ago, I liked at the end reading the questions and answering them and working through some of those things. Yeah, I do too, Annabelle Roma. I think that is really odd that you can't just go find a picture of him in 2017 so that you can show the jury that he wasn't a wimpy, small little guy, that he was actually much more sturdy than that. You know, like this is a picture of what he looked like later, right? Like, you know, I don't know, sure what year that is, but 2021, 22, whatever, right? Like, just totally different than this guy. That's what he looked like in 2017. And looks like he, you know, his hair, you know, it looks like it's short there too. And there he is right there. You don't think that guy looks sturdy, right? I mean, he doesn't look anything like the person you see in court right now. And there, right there, I mean, that guy could move a 200-pound girl on the ground for sure. And then look at that right there. That's what he looks like. And that's what this guy is. Right here, it looks just like the bridge guy. Physically, exactly the same. See? Totally different guy. Still, well, he's a little person, but he was stronger. He weighed like 200 pounds probably back then. He's not like this little, small, tiny little person. I mean, even though he's short. Yeah, I mean, this one right here, you look at that and you just go, wow, that kind of looks like Bridge Guy. That's what you would have pictured Bridge Guy looking like. He was like 44, 45 years old at the time. After 3 beers, he felt 300 pounds. Yeah. So on that morning, for those who aren't really aware, this is where his mother lived, up in this town right there in Mexico, Indiana. So on the mornings of the homicides, he drove through Peru, and he even said he went to Peru to visit his mother, because that's kind of like, yeah, that's the main town right there. It's only 3 or 4 miles to where his mother lives. And it's interesting because Keegan Klein, you know, the Kleins lived there. Tony Klein lived right there. That's where Keegan lived at the time of the homicides, and he was communicating with Libby's phone the same weekend. So like Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday they had the day off, and then some other person killed them. And apparently they say there's no connection. But I think it's just so amazingly coincidental now. Again, it's always been coincidental, but now you have Richard Allen driving through Peru, Indiana on the same day the girls are killed. He refuses to go to lunch with them, instead buys beers. It's almost like somebody got a hold of him and said, hey, there's these 2 girls going to be at the bridge. Perfect, they're exactly what you want. So he goes, yeah, hey everybody, I want lunch. Goes, gets that 6-pack, bolts home, gets that jacket, and then drives out to the bridge, has his head down, passes the first 3 girls. They say he looked like he was on a mission. Then he goes to the bridge, and then Betsy Blair said, yeah, it looked like he was waiting for somebody. Isn't that weird? That's what it's always seemed like. Yeah, so I think, you know, they were unable to find a connection between Keegan Klein and Richard Allen. But that doesn't mean there wasn't one. And statistically, odds-wise, you would think that there is a connection. That's the thing. Hey. Thank you to Lillian. Appreciate it. Oh, and thanks to Dana for joining my Patreon. I wish I did more over there. I kind of feel... Hold on, let me see what JK said. Yeah. Hey, JK sent me an email. Thank you, Jay. You finally get it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, basically the gist is he said, I get it, man. There's 8,000 people over there, and they all feel sorry for Richard Allen. I'm in the Twilight Zone. It's amazing. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Esma Budgets. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are following this case that have no prior, like, what was going on in the background before. I mean, I think if I almost want to fill people in on the other people, you know. So there was Ron Logan first. I mean, the main people are Ron Logan and the Kleins. The other ones are sort of these people on the edges. You know, nobody really. You know, but Ron Logan apparently was somebody they were interested in at the very beginning, and he lived right here. It was his property they were found on. And, you know, they put the FBI over there. He's like 70-something years old. They put the FBI over there. They put everybody in there. And they just absolutely investigated him. And he turns out he lied on the day. He had just gotten out of prison. He was on parole. And he lied that day because he drove to a pet store, and he didn't want them to be, when he's questioned about that, and he says he drove, he would have got 2 more years in prison because it broke his parole. So he lied, and all these, just Tom, Dick, and Harry's go, oh, he lied, instead of just the rational thought is, yeah, he lied so he wouldn't get the 2 years in prison. His lie didn't even help him. He still placed himself at the crime scene. I mean, in the area of the crime scene, and of course his phone's going to ping in the area because he lives there. All right, and the FBI did investigations into him and found absolutely nothing, not one shred of evidence whatsoever, pointing to Ron Logan, and yet his name persisted over the years, saying that he's the guy on the bridge. He looks absolutely nothing like the person on the bridge. Here, let me. He's dead now. He died of COVID in 2022, I think. And people are actually saying, he deserved it. Karma. Shut the hell up, you know. You guys are fools. Let me see if I can find one. So here's Ron Logan right here. Does this guy here look anything at all like the guy on the bridge? I mean, you can see him walking around. This guy right here doesn't have any similarities at all. Right here, look at that. Okay, but people go, "Oh, it's him," because he's got a hat on or something. See that right there? Looks nothing like the guy, and I don't know where these people's brains are coming from when they keep saying it. I mean, look at that right there, and this guy, not even close. This guy's got like a Colonel Sanders mustache. I don't even know if he's ever had a beard. This guy over here has one. All right. Hey, thank you up there to Brandon Collins. Even you, Nathan. Yeah, I put that in the thing. That's funny. Mia Pierce. I hope that he can find his little pea-sized brain, the place he got the beers from, because that is going to be part of his defense. The prosecution should have had you as a consultant. I think I could have helped them, honestly, because I've thought what's interesting is when you do this YouTube stuff for a while and you show a whole bunch of different things, you can see the things that you did that made people go, "Oh my God, I see it now." And then you also know sort of the order of, I don't know. I mean, they're probably better at the order of things, but it's just like each item, a way to sell it better with factual information. I'm not trying to say to trick people. That's just it, you know. Yeah, and he was really tall. Yeah, he's like 6'4". Just complete lunacy, people. And by the way, I think I do have the crime scene in the right spot, because even today they said southeast of the cemetery, and that's what this is. This area here, where the GPS coordinates are, is basically directly south, and that was never right. I don't know if they just gave that so people wouldn't stumble upon the correct location, but it can't be correct. No, it couldn't have been Van Guy. B, sir. You're incorrect. You know why? Because Van Guy can't be the guy on the bridge. Yeah, Van Guy was... he was at work at 2:02. Didn't even show up at the area until 2:20 something. The bridge guy is Bridge Guy, which is at Richard Allen. So anyways, you have this Ron Logan guy, and you know what? Why wouldn't man, if they're just setting somebody up, wouldn't you just find a way to pin it on Ron Logan, drop something somewhere and go, oh, look at this, we found this. They didn't do that. They didn't find a bullet at his house that matched the ejection marks. They didn't do that. It's weird. Then, so he faded into obscurity to people with rational minds. The other people out on the internet, they just kept saying Ron Logan, 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 Ron. It just went on and on and on, right? But then, there was these other various people that showed up. But then in like 2000, we all heard of this guy named Keegan Klein. And we didn't hear him first though. There was a profile. The Indiana State Police wants to know if anybody communicated with the profile Anthony Shots. They showed us pictures and the various apps that person was on. And then Wish TV actually had a document and realized that the Anthony Shots profile was connected to Keegan Klein. And then everybody started looking at Keegan Klein, etc. I mean, the murder sheet was really into that because law enforcement was really into the Kleins. They absolutely were focused in on them because Keegan Klein and his father, I guess what you could say is they just got back from, well, the way it works is Tony Klein has a house. Keegan Klein lived at his father's house. They had just gone to Las Vegas just after the murders, a few days later. Then they came back, and on the 25th of February 2017, which is only 11 days after the homicides, law enforcement went to Tony Klein's house. Inside that house, they were able to determine that it was Keegan Klein who was the one behind the Anthony Shots profile, not Tony Klein. There was another profile, though, called Emily Ann, who seemed to focus in on trying to groom girls into meeting somebody that was like 45 years old or so. So that was interesting because Keegan Klein was only like 20-something, I think. Anyways, at the house, they took tons of Keegan Klein's. He had he was just like Richard Allen. I mean, isn't that just weird too, you guys? I mean, both of them had multiple cell phones sitting around. Just tons of them. And when they looked through them, they found just a bunch of CSAM material. And we see all these in these documents. They kind of black it out, but you can see there's just tons of stuff. And at the time, so that information was found out later after they went through the devices, but at the time when they went to his house, they took Keegan Klein down to the station, did a polygraph test on him, and was questioned about the Abby and Libby case. That's what he was questioned about. And he'd given them all these devices, but the only device he didn't give them was the phone he was using during the time of the murders. Isn't that crazy? So he didn't give him that phone. That's Keegan Klein. He didn't give him that phone. And then he comes home from interrogation, and he goes in the house, and through forensic investigation later, they find out that he gets his phone that he hid, and he starts deleting, uninstalling apps over and over and over again to pretty much wipe out any content that he was communicating with anybody. Then he called police and gave them the phone then. I mean, don't you just find that just insane? And then one of the things he said was he found a Samsung phone on the trip to Las Vegas in the backseat of a cab that he factory reset. He just miraculously found this phone and he factory reset it. Yeah, I guess they could have probably, I was thinking, just randomly, what if that was Richard Allen's phone that nobody's ever found? But I think they would be able to tell, right? Like an MEI number or something off of it and go, well, he had that too. I mean, that would be insane. But so they just kept looking into him, and then there was this huge interrogation, 198-page document where they were interviewing him, and they said that Keegan Klein, using the Anthony Shots profile, was communicating with the girls on the very same weekend, And then even after the girls were missing, one of Libby's friends messaged the Anthony Shots profile and said, "Hey, did you hear what happened to the girls?" And he said, "Oh my God, what? I was supposed to meet him this weekend." He said, "I was supposed to meet him and they never showed up." That's what he said. So it's like, wait a minute. So you were supposed to meet him and they never showed up? That's weird. How did you know? If you knew, did you know they were going there? So then you say, well, okay, then Richard Allen kills them, and then you go, wow. So this catfishing account was supposed to meet the girls that day, but only didn't get to meet them because another random catfishing account, another just random psycho was there and killed him first. I mean, isn't that weird? Like, what are the odds of that? Especially in a small town like that. So anyways, they go out. Richard Allen wasn't even somebody that anybody knew about, but that's what apparently Keegan Klein said these kinds of things. So then there's all this stuff going on, and then law enforcement then was over near where they live, over here in Peru, for 3 weeks. They were digging around here in the Wabash River. It was really shallow. Law enforcement was standing there, looking through, trying to find something that apparently he said he threw something in. Like Keegan Klein must have said he threw something in the water. So they were looking around, They looked around for a month in there. But 1 week before they were done searching, that's when the tip came in regarding Richard Allen. And then I think law enforcement believed there was a connection between Keegan Klein and Richard Allen, because doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make sense right there? Yeah, and then, but they were never able to find a connection. So it turns out Richard Allen just, if we don't believe that there's a connection, I think there likely is something, but it's just analog and there's no way to prove it. And he knew that those girls were going to be there somehow, and we don't know how that was, because it sounds like law enforcement always said it looked like they were targeted. And he had his head down, he was on a mission. And then Betsy Blair even said, looked like he was waiting for somebody. I'm trying to figure out what the hell is it. Oh, shit. Okay. I am on the wrong... I got to get my control panel out for YouTube. It looks like it's off my screen. Where was it? Over here? Man, this is hard. With all these... I have like 4 windows open here that have all the... It's got StreamYards, and then... Right, that's what we're saying, Ozzy Bonds. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that make you go, yeah, he would have cut a deal. That's why it's stupid when people say, hey, there was other people there. Well, Richard Allen would have cut a deal with law enforcement if there was anybody else to get a lighter sentence, right? But he hasn't. That means there wasn't anybody there. He was by himself. No, it doesn't, Gray. It means he wasn't even there, you bastard. I disagree. Richard Allen is 100% bridge guy, everybody. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. All right, we're currently at 20% of a goal. So if you guys can help support the channel tonight, that'd be great. I try to raise funds on the channel every single night for the channel, and also at the end of the month, we give away lots of money to various charities. Last month we gave away $4,835, and we've given $220,000 since January 2020. Well, I am on all of them, Gummo, so, you know. Let's see, I do wonder why he said a few times, most of them, okay, I'll say most. I do wonder why, yeah, Alley Cake's trying for a wave for support, you guys, so see if we can make that happen. Don't leave her hanging, don't leave her hanging. I do wonder why he said a few times his wife wasn't involved. Makes me think she knew he did it since he tipped himself off. Yeah, that's sort of interesting because that would explain why she's so adamant that he doesn't confess, because she wonders if he'll turn her in or something. Like maybe she knew that he was a bridge guy, and just, he was like, I was drunk, sweetheart, I didn't know what to do, I don't know, though. I mean, there's no evidence that, other than just guessing at stuff like that. The min? What's a min? Yeah, it never happens, Esma. Never happens in here. Let's see. She's known since the beginning, I think. You think so? Well, what I believe here is that, as I said on the other, all the last couple shows, is that I think that he has wanted to confess for a very long time, and his family won't let him. His wife won't let him. His attorneys won't let him. Nobody's letting him. His mom won't let him. He wanted to get it off his chest, and they just wouldn't let him. And I think if you want to blame people for maybe his decline, that would be it. Because wouldn't he have, once he got it off his chest, he would have felt so much relief, and he had found God, and it just sort of would have been at peace, even though he would have felt bad, right? I mean, like that, right? Instead, it's like, don't say anything, and it's just like eating him away, and then I don't know, that makes more sense to me, that. Hey, thanks Sandy Shirley, and Kathy Friedenmaker, and Richard Watts. That's what we just said, Cindy. We just said that whole thing that you just typed in. Hey, everybody, Cindy said maybe she's known for years and wouldn't let him confess. Oh, my God. He's kind of weak to let them dictate to him not to confess. No, but he kept confessing anyways, over and over and over and over again. Yeah, if you were going to look at who's more shady, just in general, a defense attorney or a prosecutor, the answer is a defense attorney. It's like night and day. I would say, if you were just going to put a number on it, it'd be like 90% of the time it's a defense attorney, and then the 10% would be the prosecutor. Okay? Now, we do know that there's there's prosecutors out there that there's false convictions out there that are not, so that means that was completely fabricated when somebody's charged with a crime they didn't commit, right? So that does happen. But, there's so many cases out there, and their job is to put forward as many arguments as possible, doesn't matter what they are, hey, and try to get their guy off. It's wild. Crazy stuff. That's not what this is. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's not. That's what's going on here, everybody. This is the 10%. Richard Allen is innocent. He's a cool dude. I'd like to have a beer with him and play pool. Well, here's how okay, you want to play pool with this guy right here? Guess we have to do it again, everybody. You want to play pool with this guy? Richard Allen said he got there at 1:30, and here's his car driving by the Hoosier Harvest store at 1:30. He parks his car just like he said he did. Then he got out of his vehicle and he went to the Freedom Bridge, and he passes 3 girls. The 3 girls said the person they passed is the same person in Libby's video. They did describe him differently, but later when they saw the picture, they go, yeah, that's the one. And they're kind of like, yeah, my description, yeah. Then they pass, and then there goes Richard Allen. You want to have a beer with this guy? He's walking down the trail. The 3 girls then go over Old State Road 25 when Betsy Blair goes underneath and looks up and sees them. At about 1:45 that was. Then at 1:46 she passes the Hoosier Harvest store and parks her vehicle. Then she gets out and goes to the bridge. Right behind her is Abby and Libby, 2 minutes behind her. They're walking slower than she is because she's exercising. She gets to the barricade, which is 111 feet, not 50 feet like she said, from platform 1, and she turns around. Then she drives this direction and passes Abby and Libby. She remembers seeing them in the paper. Then Abby and Libby have to necessarily run into Richard Allen right after that. Richard Allen, however, never says he passed them because he can't. Then he goes back and he waits and watches. Then he follows across the bridge, takes them down the hill, and right around this time is when Brad Weber drove by in his van on this white road right here. So then he takes them across the creek where he continues to do what he was doing when he felt safer. Yep, that's who I want to be friends with. Come on, guys. Bible paper pool sandwich. Does anybody want to, if I put a, I guess it's the StreamYard link in, you can call in, and you can just use your audio. You don't have to use have the face on the screen. But if you want to be on video, you can be on video. You know? So I think I have to have on audio, the echo cancellation has to be on. Yeah, that one. What do you do with the spork? No, I don't know what that means, man. Thanks, Mitchell H. Oh, yeah, I know it's a spoon and a fork, but what does that have to do with anything? I don't know why they're not doing the death penalty. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning. I think it was a punishment of some sort. I don't know. I don't know if it might be because they were late on turning in something, and I know everybody says I sound like Norm Macdonald. Yeah. I don't hear it. You know, I've heard Norm Macdonald. I've heard myself, and I don't hear it. But I can see how you might think that because other people have. That's the only reason I say that. They should have. If they had this thing to play, it's just game over, man. When you see it, it's obvious, right? I wish everyone would watch this timeline and completely honest with themselves. Rich Allen's guilty of sin. Right. Unfortunately, this isn't at trial, this thing here. You know, this isn't there. So it's going to be up to the jury to sort of piece it together based on the information. I hope to God that in rebuttal or in the closing arguments, you know, they do something, whether they put a board out and move pieces around, that's good too. Doesn't really matter. You just have to show it and, you know, specifically show it. You know, and you can tell people why it's important, because these three girls right here, there's four of them, right? So just pretend I put a fourth sphere in there. And they go over here, you know, they're here at 126, but this whole time from 1243 to 126, they didn't see Bridge Guy. Remember his other story? He got there at noon and left at 1:30. So how come they don't see him at all during that time? They're even at the bridge. They don't see him. Right? And then before that, they were over here at the Freedom Bridge, and then they obviously walked, because they walked there. They came like this. So they basically cleared the entire secondary alibi story that Richard Allen gave. He's not there. So when these girls are leaving at 126, they start heading out, and then Richard Allen, based on what he told Dan Doolin, getting there at 1:30 and leaving at 3:30, a vehicle matching his vehicle drives by the Hoosier Harvest Store. I mean, this would be so much better, too, if you put times up on the clock. I just say them out loud for you listening. But as that black vehicle up here drove by, if we go back a little bit, it's 127 right now. Then he likely gets out of the car, you know, 129. Shit, maybe he has another beer. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Gets out of the vehicle, and probably right around like 133 to 135, he passes these 3 girls right here. And they're just kind of moving slowly, so it takes them another, I don't know, 12 minutes or so to get across where, they're probably hanging out on the bridge here. Then they go across, and then 1:45, Betsy Blair goes underneath the bridge and looks up and sees those 4 girls. Now, here's the thing. It's even possible that at one point, like 6 minutes before this, when he's about right here, he could have stopped at a bench over here, like he said, and sat there for 2 or 3 minutes. He literally could have done that. He could have sat there for 2 or 3 minutes, looked around, got and kept walking. And then he would have been there right now-ish, Then here comes Betsy Blair, whose vehicle pulls up, and she starts moving in yellow. And she drove by the Hoosier Hardware store at 1:46. Richard Allen got to the bridge at 1:45. So she's only a minute behind him when she gets to the parking. He gets to the bridge. 1 minute later, she's at the parking spot. So she's 7 minutes behind him. And then she catches up and gets there at, I'm going to say, let's see, 147, like 1:53. 1:53. Then she turns around and goes this way, and that's 3 minutes to right there. So that's 1:56-ish. And then the girls, they're walking a little slower, so they probably get to the bridge at 2 o'clock. But they necessarily have to pass the bridge guy. So that's 2 o'clock. Then he goes out here a little bit, and then at 2:05, that's the first picture of the full length of the bridge, the black and white picture. Then they move forward a little bit, and they take a picture this direction of just Abby. And I think he's back here a little bit like that. Then he starts making his move, and he catches up to him. And look at Betsy Blair. So you got to watch her too. Watch. So after she leaves, she passes Abby and Libby, but look what she does. I think they were saying that she does this loop. So it goes up to the Freedom Bridge and then back around, and the timing is absolutely perfect. And she gets to her car, but she didn't see the bridge guy again. So effectively, she cleared that entire area. That means she left a man wearing exactly the same clothing that the bridge guy was wearing and what Richard Allen said he was wearing. She left him at the bridge, and therefore the girls were going to run into him. And he does not show up again this whole time. So even when she gets here, she can see to about right there. She didn't see anybody. So that means Richard Allen himself is still in this general area when Betsy Blair gets to her car. Then at 2:13 at the end of the bridge, he catches up to him, 2:13 and 52 seconds or so, something like that. 51 maybe. And then he takes him down the hill. And now we know from testimony that Brad Weber said that he was at work he got off of work at 2:02, and it's a 20 to 25 minute drive home. And he got to his house at around 2:30, which is back in this corner. So he probably drove by, I would say like 2:27-ish, something like that, 2:28. Then Richard Allen looks up, sees the white van. The girls probably saw the van too, and he forces them across the creek. And then he does what he does to them. And then we also know, we've known this for a long time, is that on the same bridge, probably right around 3:30, 3:40-ish, a girl named Cheyenne's on the bridge with her friend, and they're taking photographs. And the first photograph is, I think, on the other side, at like around 3:15. And then she's on the other side of the bridge, and she's talking, and the wind blows from the bridge straight to the crime scene, so he could hear. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if, right around 3:37 or so, he freaked out and was right in the middle of putting branches on the girls, and then he went up this way through the cemetery and then started walking this way like that. So using this map, he goes up through the cemetery, and he's walking this way on the north side of 300. And then here comes Sarah Carbaugh from the west over here, coming this direction. She goes by the Hoosier Harvest Store at 3:57. And then in between the Mears property and the cemetery, she passes a guy that's muddy and bloody. So that would have been like 3:58 at the most right here. But when she drove by the Mears parking area here, she saw multiple people standing here because they were there to help find Abby and Libby, if you can believe that. Then, so when she drove by, she sees them, then the muddy and bloody guy. So isn't it likely then that Richard Allen, being the muddy and bloody guy, he looks over and sees that there's a bunch of people there. He's not going to walk by there, and thus he's not going to go by the same camera by the Hoosier Harvest store here. So he likely just kind of, bent down a little bit. There's a little bit of a drop off there, kind of walked over, went behind here, just kind of made his way around, and then he gets back to his vehicle and then goes out that direction towards town. And who knows what he did in his vehicle? Did he take off his muddy and bloody pants and put them in a bag or something, or roll them up and, whatever? Nobody knows. It's crazy. And it's weird, too, because if they had investigated this, they may have been able to find, like, blood droppings or something near where his car is. But nobody did that because they weren't thinking like that. I mean, and why would you? It's like at the time you're just sort of thinking, where did these girls go? Did they fall off the bridge? Are they missing? Then the next day you're not thinking, you're looking around by the old abandoned CPS building. Nobody knew sort of the layout, what was going on. It all developed later over the years. Hey, thanks, Emma Justice. She says, obviously, I want to believe they will find him guilty, but if it ends up a hung jury, do they have a new judge and a new jury from a different county? I live in Allen County now. I lived at PU in 2017. Purdue University. Let's see. I don't know if they necessarily get a new judge. I think it would be sort of good, though, just a fresh start sort of thing on this one. And the prosecution needs to... I don't think there's really any chance that this will be a not guilty unless the wrong person becomes the foreman who has the ability to, persuade everybody else. I don't think there's any chance. I think there's got to be people that listen to those confessions and went, oh, yeah, that's... And I think some people were taking notes today. I'm hoping they were taking notes because they were watching his behavior and thought, oh, look at right there. It looks like he's acting. Something like that. What else would you be taking notes about? Let's see. Edith Puthi says, do you think Rick has done this before? Well, his own confession says that he's assaulted people before, but I don't know if it's ever been sort of a stranger. I don't think he's ever killed somebody before. I used to think that whoever did this... See, the thing is, the way it is normally, like when somebody does something like this, he didn't do Iowa. It's like a serial killer type person, somebody that's tracking somebody down, but sometimes it's their first time and they didn't really want to keep doing it. And I think that might be one of these, the killing part. He wanted to do it. I mean, it makes the story more sensationalistic if you think that. I mean, I used to think stuff like that. I mean, I used to think at the beginning that the killer is a serial killer-like person. Libby stopped him in his tracks. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it sounds like they didn't find any defensive wounds at all. An inmate would roll in poop or spit on guards or uncooperative get treated like that. I don't see what it has to do with Abby and Libby's death. Oh, here's what they're doing, Sarah, is they're trying to establish that his treatment in prison was so egregious that it likely impaired his mental faculties and he was putting out false confessions. And that's why it sucks that there's a psychologist person on the jury. Okay. Because who knows what they'll be able to tell people. Oh, yeah, no, really, we learned this in class, We look at the DSM-5 or DSM-6 right here. Now, look at right here. It says if you have long-term... I was thinking about it, Julia. I'm going to try to do the StreamYards version of it. You can either be on video or you can be just your audio. Right? But we got to get the super chats up there because we're only about 50%, not even that, 40% of a nightly goal. And it's like, come on. It's just so funny when you watch the channels that are putting out garbage. Everybody just loves it, man. It's like a freaking bingo machine in there. But whenever you're doing the honest to God factual information, it's boring. It's boring for everybody. All right. Let me try to do. I'll put this in here. Here's the. I don't do panels though, you guys. I don't have like 4 people up there rapping. It's a joke. Okay. I don't do panels. So, just don't try to get in there. Well, you can be in there, but you'll be in the background. So there's the StreamYard link. Let's try to get some new people to call in too. Is that good? Seems like we... let's see, let me do this. I'd like to have some new thoughts. Oh, there's somebody right there already. I guess I add you to the stage. All right, what's up?
Hi, it's Julia.
Julia Burns, what's going on?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of a couple questions for you. This is just for your opinion. What do you think of the trial so far in terms of, do you think, has anything stuck out to you, information that's like bombshell, or has it, for you,
yeah.
what you know so far, has it just kind of like been filling in some little...
Yeah, there's been a lot of that, the little filling in of time. Like that's the stuff that I just love. Like boom, like little time frame, little pieces. But I would say that like the biggest things are, well, really the biggest one are all the confessions he's made, how calm he said them, but then also that he put that information about the white van in the one of his confessions, which matches up perfectly to the time where Brad Weber would be getting home. And so that's only something, the only person living would be, that would know that van drove by, would be Richard Allen,
right,
aka Bridge Guy. Yeah,
I agree. I think that was probably for me one of the biggest, the most damning information that came out against him. So anybody that thinks that he could, just make that up is cuckoo. Because if you're trying to do a false confession, or if you're doing a false confession for attention or whatever psycho killers or wannabes do, you'd make up information, or make it, if he was trying to make up a confession making it look like it's a false confession, he would say, oh yeah, I
shot him in the back.
Yeah, or I like drowned them or something like that. That's totally outlandish. But everything that he has said in confessions has lined up. So I don't get how anybody could think that this was some psychosis, because it not only is it on point, but it's specific. And the white van is really what did it for me.
Yeah, like 202, 20-minute drive, maybe 2 minutes to get to the car. Then it's 2:24 to 2:29. He's driving by. I mean, it's absolutely perfect timing. And then you cross the creek, and then 2:32 and 39 seconds. Libby's phone never moves again. So that was pretty interesting. That part.
I thought so too. I mean, unless psychosis makes you
psychic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said in one of my shows. I said, I said something like, "Does being crazy give you the ability to see through the mind of the actual killer?" Exactly. So that's how we saw the van.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's very similar.
Yeah. No, I just think it's crazy how anybody can just sweep that one under the rug, because I certainly can't personally.
No, and I've said the same thing too. Like his false confessions are, I mean, they're true confessions. I mean, like normally when there's a false confession, investigators can look at it and go, "Oh yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen."
Right.
But in this case, the one he gave is like every single thing lines up. Now they
Right.
might say, "Well, it's false because he got this information and he put the puzzle together because he wanted it to seem real." You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is, but
I think he was truly confessing. Um,
me
I,
too.
yeah, because again, like otherwise, if he was trying to come off crazy, he would have either trying to come off crazy or trying to take credit for somebody else's crime. He wouldn't have gotten such specific details so accurate, like on point. And so that for me is it's just kind of like I think he really just was. I mean, one could argue he's having cabin fever and stuff, and like just going crazy in jail, but um, I mean that doesn't matter to me. I mean, it shouldn't matter because everything he's saying is accurate, and I'm kind of beating a dead horse on this one,
Yeah.
but that's
No,
just
it's
kind
okay.
of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Plus, he's
About
he's
that.
bridge guy. He doesn't have an out. That's the thing. I always want people to say, "Well, Gray, maybe this, maybe that," but there isn't a maybe this and or maybe that.
Right.
You
Not
know,
in this scenario, not in my opinion.
he drives by 127, the Hoosier Harvester, so that's him parking at the abandoned CPS building because that's when he said he got there. And then he passed the three girls. They saw him. So now we're placing him on the trail. Then Betsy Blair confirms he's at the bridge right when he should be there. That's the amazing part.
Exactly.
And it's just,
Exactly.
and then the girls are the next people to see
Hmm.
him, Abby and Libby. So anyway,
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how at the beginning, and because I've been following this case since it came out, but not as closely as I have been like in the most recent years. But I was, I don't know, I feel like my perception of the information that was being, tossed around the media and even other channels and stuff. I mean, they made it seem like there were like this was like a really busy day at the trail, and I think kids trickled in and out because yeah, Carroll County was
earlier.
school,
Hmm.
but yeah, just throughout the day too. But I also think it's really important to take into account how spread out and big the entire park and the Monon trails and all that is. Because you're not going to have like, it's not some concentrated area where you're going to be like running into like a lot of people, like maybe
Hmm.
spread out, maybe for like a certain amount of time, but throughout
Right.
the entire day, this is not like it doesn't strike me as some like big hot spot. It's not like some, lake park or
It's
something.
also not really isolated. Like everyone always talks, there's houses all around and everything. But the thing is there were the Richard Allen, bridge guy. He got lucky, regardless of how. I mean, I guess when I say lucky, if he was there just hunting for people, then that means he just had absolute pure luck when Abby and Libby went out on that bridge, and he followed them because he was aware, he was watching, and knew nobody was behind him. Betsy Blair just walked that way, so she was gone, and he knew nobody was behind him, and he'd been there for a little bit, and he knew nobody was on the other side of the bridge. So when the girls went across, he probably kept looking behind to see if anybody was coming, and then
Hmm.
he made his move, and he would have called it off at any time. But later in the day, there was people that crossed the bridge, all these things, and it could have just been when Abby and Libby went to that bridge. If there was just somebody else on the other side, this never would have happened. He wouldn't
Yeah,
have done it because he would have called it off.
right. Just how he almost did when Brad Weber came up in his van, and that's heartbreaking to think about. Um, but that kind of leads into like my next kind of thought, I guess. I've always thought that somehow, some way, he knew that Abby and Libby specifically would be there at that time, and I, I, I guess my thought process behind that would be, again, it's not like some crowded hotspot. Sure, he could have been just waiting,
Mhm.
hoping to get lucky. It could have been happenstance, but I feel like somehow he knew that those two girls were planning to go there and was, you know, looking for them or something along those lines, because that is kind of like what you're saying, like lucky, and I hate to use that word, but he
Well,
got
he was lucky from his point of view. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He would have had to be so lucky just to be there at that exact time, and nobody else
Yeah.
being like
Yeah. Even if he was there, I've said this many, hundreds of times, the same thing that we're talking about. At the end of, like, even if he was there because of Abby and Libby, he still got lucky. Like,
Mhm.
it's lucky, for him to have nobody else there. You can't control other people. So there could have easily have been Cheyenne there an hour earlier, walking across there, and then all of a sudden he's not going to be able to do it. But he just did what he could. Like, that's what I always thought. He was a hunter originally, that he just waited and waited for the right opportunity, and Abby and Libby fell into the right opportunity. There was nobody in front, nobody behind, and then he made his move. I
Yeah,
must have said that, like, I mean, back in the early days, the first year or so, I said that. That was always my theory. And it's weird how it went from that to a catfishing scenario. Now it's back to the original theory.
right. I know that was like a weird wrench in the whole thing, and I kind of what you mentioned earlier, like maybe a word of mouth thing is how he found out, because they can't, I mean, they haven't been able to link him to the, you know, catfishing Anthony Shots account. um so that, but even that's kind of, I don't know, that would be also a huge coincidence, so I'm kind of contradicting my own thoughts
Yeah,
here.
no, that's the whole thing. It's a huge coincidence with the Keegan Klein and Richard Allen, just two sets of psychos communicating with the same girl on the same weekend.
Yeah,
That's a total, just crazy, right? And then it's like, it's a coincidence that there was no, for either scenario, that there was nobody else there right during that exact time frame. I mean, it's really, if you watch my animation for just a little bit of time, there's nobody there. So it'd be really great to have
yeah,
everybody else's time frame. Then you show it being populated again, people moving around, but there's this like 45-minute period, or not even that, like a 30-minute window where there's nobody. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Like, he really like fell right into that little, you know, say just from him crossing the bridge to them, like, and getting them down the hill, like, was
Mhm.
that like 10-15 minutes at the most time slot? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
luck.
Yeah, I mean, they got on the bridge, I would think, at like 2:01. They're going down the hill at 2:14. He took one of the things that they're not mentioning at trial that seems like it's just such a gimme to tell people is that you can walk across that bridge if you're not scared in like 3.5 minutes. They
Mm,
make it sound like, oh, wow, it's like 10 minutes, 10 minutes. No, it takes 3 minutes. So that he could have caught up to them easily because Abby's walking really slowly because she'd never crossed that bridge before.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that, I mean, that probably, well, I'm sure it tied into the fact as to why he was walking on a mission, because he knew he only had so much time to get them even more isolated and away from people, and that's why he was like just going Mach 3 down that Monon Eye Bridge.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, he wanted to get there before somebody else might have shown up behind him and get him
Right.
dad on because he
Right.
was. I bet you he looked. How much? I bet you anything. And when he was about right before that video or right after the video we're watching, he looked back behind him one last time because if anybody had seen him, he would
Right.
have stopped. He would have stopped what he was doing.
Right. He wouldn't have whipped out his gun. I'm not saying he
Mm-hmm.
whipped it out, but
He
he
would
would.
just walk right on by and made it seem like he was doing something else.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. He would have just put
yeah,
it back away, or, you know, kind of, I mean, from the video, you can tell he's kind of slumped over, and it kind of looks like he's got it ready to pull out at any point, but
mm-hmm.
just as much as he'd be ready to put it right back in.
That's right. All right. Well, hey, I got to get. There's another person waiting in here, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I won't take up your
I
time.
don't. I don't do panels. I don't like
Oh
to
yeah,
have
no
people
worries.
knitting up in the upper right hand corner.
I got you. No worries.
All right.
All right.
Anyway,
Thank you
thanks for
for
the
your
call.
time.
That was good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You too. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Let's see. Yep, thanks for calling in.
Hi.
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, Gray. Thanks for your incredible efforts on this personal case. It means so much to all of us. Well, I'm excited tonight, and I hope that everybody doesn't already know this, but I just watched a video on YouTube,
Uh-oh.
and yeah, and it's supposed to be Richard Allen at the pool hall playing pool.
I've
And
seen that. Yeah.
if you listen to the last 20 seconds of it, it's a Merle Haggard song, and the words are, I'm going downhill like a snowball from hell.
Did he sing it himself?
He does not, but it plays in the video. That's how the video closes. If you want, I got it wound up. I could play what the Merle Haggard.
No, I can't. I can't have music like that on here.
Okay. I find that the biggest coincidence that I think I've ever heard as far as this case. I mean, it's very bizarre that I'm going downhill like a snowball from hell. What the heck?
I mean, it's more just kind of like ironic or something. Yeah, to me, it's not really, like there's other stuff that's more coincidental in this
Okay.
case, I would
For
think.
me,
It's more like ironic, like, wow, it's a perfect song to describe him.
It is, and what he did, and actually hell has something to do with the whole thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be interesting to see if he has a bunch of Merle Haggard albums. Just coincidence. But yeah, I love music. It's influenced me a lot. Sometime maybe we'll talk about that. But if this guy was a Merle Haggard fan, this becomes very, very strange with everything else that's in play.
So he went over and he said down the hill because he was just singing tunes that he knew? I don't think so, yeah.
And I don't even know if it's down the hill or downhill. And the words I think are actually, I'm going downhill. So I think he's actually saying downhill. So
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a trivial thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for me, yeah, that's the kind of stuff I don't really. I like to look at hard factual stuff that you can kind of connect. I mean, just having a song playing doesn't mean much, So. All right.
Yeah. So I got other callers. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks. All right. Bye. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see any coincidence in that, or like any sort of meaningful. I mean, it's more like just ironic. Like, oh, that's awesome. It'd be great if it said something like "Highway to Hell," by who the hell sang that one? AC/DC. That would have been pretty ironic too. All right, you guys. So if you're out there and you want to help support the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. We're still only at we're not even at 50% still. So if you have the ability to, I would appreciate it. If you can't, then do not. All right. But we're trying to, keep moving forward this month and have a better month than last month, and try to make a bigger difference at the end of the month. This last month was one of our better ones for a while, though. It's a bar. They play music. Yeah. So anyways, at the top there is the StreamYards link. Got to go get that. Click on it. Information about meeting at the bridge at a certain time. Yeah, unless it was Snapchat, that's where there's a problem, Tommy. So, if you're using Snapchat, it just kind of goes away. Nope. This is when people call in. If you don't call in, we're going to be ending the show really quickly. It's also dead as a doornail anyway, so that's where I'm at now. It's getting depressing. He was taking pics to bring to CVS. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Libby, let's see, and Alanis Morissette sang "Ironic," which was actually just a coincidence. Wow, that's a miracle. That's so ironic in itself. Hey, cool. They can recover photos on Snapchat. So I hope people that are watching over here, I don't know, a year ago, I made a video of the timeline, but then I switched it and made a better version like 6 months ago using the probable cause document, which at the time when I went over the probable cause document, I've told people it's one of the strongest probable cause documents I've ever seen. And not because of anything other than the fact that the evidence presented after you lay it out proves that Richard Allen is the bridge guy. That's it. And once you know that he's a bridge guy, you know that he's at the very least is responsible for abducting them off the end of the bridge. And at that point, it's it. That was it. That's all that's all you need. And it's gotten worse for him. Now that one document they put out that was the Odin document, that sort of put some holes into some things, but then at trial it all just got worked out. It meant nothing. I would say one of the biggest things that the prosecution, not the defense, hold on, says, hey Gray, do you think the family will sue some of the wacko YouTubers? I hope they do. I absolutely hope they do. True Crime Design, that lady should be sued 7 ways to. They just haven't done anything because they're just waiting for the trial. Okay, that person is a absolute nut job. Okay, and there's many others too that are just, they go after the family members, absolutely denigrating them and they have no right to do it. They're not like a figure that has some connection and so, they're just, it's going to be, I hope they do it. I hope they go after all of them. Now they're going to go, well, hey, Richard Allen's going to sue you. He can't sue me. He can sue me. Richard Allen can sue me, and I welcome it. Please do it. Everything that I'm talking about on my show are factual pieces of information that point to you being bridge guy. I would love to have a civil suit where I can get in there with my own videos and graphics where the burden of proof is much different, and you will lose. You'll actually be the killer, and then you're going to be responsible for there'll be wrongful death suits filed against you. So you go ahead and do it, because I would win by myself. And I think I could literally go in there I would get an attorney, but I would go in there with my stuff and present it, some of the stuff the way I want to. I don't care. And I think it's so stupid when people say that, because I'm using information that is in the investigation. It's totally within reason to do. I believe 100% that Richard Allen is the killer. Okay, that's what I believe. I don't have information the state doesn't. They just don't present it the way you should be presenting it. That's the issue. I don't even remember what I was going to say a minute before that. I had it in my head and I go, well, remember that? And now I can't remember. But thank you up there to Billy. We're still getting crushed. Still not even at the 50% mark, if you can believe it. You can misspell Colby. Let's see. I don't remember. Yep, see you later. Allen will be found innocent. No, he will not be found innocent. He can be found not guilty, but he won't be found innocent. Richard Allen is the killer in the case, Brian. It's unfortunate that you have a mind of, I don't know, a sea urchin. Gray, stop saying he said white van. But that's what the psychologist said, Phil. The psychologist said he said white van, Phil. Gee. Did you miss that part, Phil? That's what I thought. Hey, thanks, Ashlyn Carter. Gray, do you think the phone getting wet crossing the creek is what made the messages delay? I don't know. Did they say the phone got wet when it crossed the creek? I didn't hear him say that. It could have. I think it's just, you know how it works. The the conditions outside, at some point, a signal comes in and, it just makes it through somehow for a moment. I want to know, after it connected at 4:33 in the morning, did it continue to connect, or was it just sort of a momentary connection? That would make more sense to me. I don't know who you're talking about, Bamboo Lulu, and it's absolutely unimportant to what we're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's dead spots all over the sticks. Yeah. See, Richard Allen's attorneys are responsible. You know what's going on right now in this case, you guys? The reason that there's people like the Burkharts and all the wackos that are out there, it's because of the defense team and Bob Mata, all those guys. They put out that Odin document. They started selling the public on absolute nonsensical gibberish, but it's more entertaining and fun to think that there's Odinist people out there. But isn't it weird now? You never hear any of these people talking about the Odinists, and yet they all think he's innocent still. But if those Odinists aren't part of it, then what happened? What do you mean, Jerry? What do you mean you took me for granted? Hey, thank you so much, Ash Leela Smith. You think he's going to... Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to take the stand. I think that'd be a shock. There's really no reason for him to. What's he going to say? Yeah, I got there. Okay, I'll be honest. I did see the two girls, but I just passed them. I went the other way. I'm sorry. I don't know what he's going to say. Hey, we made it to 50%. Thanks, guys. Well, the Odinist thing was garbage, absolutely nuts. The one single solitary man situation. Let's see. Hold on. Have you guys ever seen my well, it'd only be funny if you had read the Odin document. It was the defense put it out there. It was one single solitary man acting alone with dexterity would have to then pull the arm through the jacket. Then that one single solitary man would have to take the arm and then place it next to her side. Then the single solitary man would then have to unfold the jacket off. It just went on and on for 90-something comments, turning something very simple into something that sounded like building a nuclear, the code for a nuclear warhead. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So what I did was I took Mr. Rogers and I had him put his shoes on. When he gets to work and he puts his sweater on, or I made it really complicated. I had this description going. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I don't even know where I have that thing. It's somewhere though. It's like let's see if I do filter, visibility, private maybe. Oh, it should be somewhat recent. Nope. I don't see it in there. Maybe it's let me try unlisted. That might be what it is. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I don't know where that one is. Darn it. Somebody showed it to me the other day, but hey, thank you. Sandy Serious. Very cool. Very cool. You guys should put the questions. I like that at the end of that show, that last show. It was nice to go through all the questions people had in the super chats. That's kind of what they're for, actually. So is anybody else going to call in on the StreamYards up there? Come on, let's go. I'm sure you have. I wouldn't mind if somebody came in and wanted to tell me how it's not Richard Allen on the bridge. You know, based on the information that was presented at trial, I'd love it if you came in and said, this is how it's not him. Now, the only option that I've been able to find, I showed it on the previous show, but there's always different people watching at different times. So you go like this. Those are the three girls, 126. They go to the Freedom Bridge and they pass Richard Allen in blue. Then Richard Allen makes his way straight to the Monon High Bridge. Then Betsy Blair gets out and she has to then run into him. Now, here's what's possible. Is Betsy Blair, see where Betsy Blair is right there? She's kind of walking. And then right now, if Richard Allen passed the girls, he'd have to admit that he saw them. He can then say he went to right there and then went to 300 and then walked over here, missing Betsy Blair when she came back. Except the only problem with that is that would be like at 2:10. He said he was there till 3:30. Wouldn't it be 2:10? It'd be like 2:05. So he said he was there till 3:30. That doesn't work. Also, what doesn't work about it is this. So after Betsy Blair's here, she goes this way, and then let's say Richard Allen at this point goes like that. Then you're going to tell me another guy wearing exactly the same clothing he was wearing came hopping out of the woods like a hobgoblin, and Abby and Libby then run into this other guy where Richard Allen snuck out? God, give me a break. That's not reasonable, you guys. It's not reasonable. And by the way, how many people wearing light blue, wearing blue jeans, a dark blue jacket, and a hoodie were on the trails that day, or in some sort of head covering, were on the trails that day on a Monday with a day off? See, he just happened to have a day off, you guys. So what are the odds that some other person was there? He has the day off. That's why he was there. It proves that he was there. How many other people had the day off that day at that time of day at 1:30 and were there wearing the blue jeans, the dark blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hoodie and some sort of head covering? Yeah, it's just, and then a vehicle matching his at 127 got there, and it had the same rims, and those rims are only available on that year's model. You could choose them for that. Yeah, and I actually did something the other day using AI, and I was able to put the right rail into the scene pretty well. It looked pretty accurate. And Richard Allen, the person in that, was 5 feet to 5'7" tall, which is, 5'3.5", 5'4" in the middle there. Pretty interesting. Somebody saw Richard Allen change into the same clothes and followed him there to set him up. Right. Yeah, exactly. Bridge guy isn't 5'11" gray. Has covered this extensively. Yeah, he's not 5'11" at all. Isn't even close. I don't know who said that, but who's calling in, you guys? Who's calling in? That's what this is for. If nobody's calling in, it's going to be a short night. Welcome, Brianna. Yeah. I just hope the jury doesn't look at this this crap going on in prison. And it's going to be the timing of it, because I think what happened was, I think the interrogation where Richard Allen, or not the interrogation, but the phone call where he says that he did it to his wife, etc. I think that was like April 4th or something, wasn't it? And then these videos start after that. I think it matches exactly what. And the weird part is the defense came in and said, yeah, these are from like March. Oh, oops, they weren't. So it disproved what they were trying to trick the courts into believing originally. Yeah, no, yeah, Why? I hate when people tell people to call in. Because then I'm like, what were they saying? What were they saying? Maybe they don't want them to. Maybe they were talking about something weird. Yeah, click on the pinned link. Oh yeah, Alley Cake. I saw that one person that you emailed me about in another chat, and I said, hey, I thought you were a big AG fan. I don't think she knew what it meant. Don't get me wrong. If Richard Allen did those murders, he should rot in jail. Well, he did do them. Yeah. Okay, well, why don't you call in, M10? You could do it. I mean, it's, we're getting crushed anyways. I'd rather take the time off and make another video or something. I mean, these are the live streams. You guys are the sole source of the income. So when you're sitting there doing the show and there's no income coming in, then it's like, well, I can make a video and then at least ad revenue will come in tomorrow from that one. Thanks, Naomi. Now, the other creators, they don't care because they get like, for example, when, like Lauren's doing her show, she has 8,000 people watching. And the ad revenue on that alone, just when she's done, will be, there'll be hundreds, and she'll make on that video ad revenue, I'd say like $500-$600 easily, right? When we get 500 people watching, I'm just giving you the inside baseball. It's not like that at all. Everyone I spoke with inside the courtroom the day the calls between Rick and his wife, yes. And he said he sounded sane. I heard that too. And every single one of them, Moonchild, said that he sounded exactly like the bridge guy. The same, just you could tell it was him. Like it sounded like him. Yeah, that's right. I'd love to have heard him, Moonchild. I bet he was just like, listen, you guys, I did it. Can you just believe me? Will you love me anyways? Can you just believe me? I did it. I did it. No, you didn't, Richard. But I did. But the one thing that sucks that he said that they're going to use is when he said to his wife, I'll listen, I'll tell him anything I need to tell him. What do you, something like that. And then they're going to say, well, see, he said he'd do that. But his wife wasn't asking him, though. All right, that's the thing. She was telling him not to say what he was saying. He wanted to just say it because he is that guy. Yeah, they won't. They won't watch it. Why do you guys keep talking to this Juan Soto? He's not gonna. He doesn't care. He's here to troll you guys. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, just forget him. All right. He doesn't care about the facts in the case. He doesn't give a shit. He won't listen. I could go over the timeline right here 1,000 times, and he would willfully not understand what I'm telling, because it's very simple. It's not difficult, and he won't do it. Yeah, just get the hell out of here, Juan. I don't want you here, okay? All right, thanks. No, I'll just keep quiet. I don't want an idiot like you, man. Just get out of here. You sound like a little 4-year-old. Oh, then I'll just keep quiet if you think he's, What a joke. Get the hell out of here. What do we got here? Let me scroll down here. God, what a loser. You got to be kidding me. Like passive-aggressive bullshit. Will Gray be doing a verdict watch once? I'm sure I would be. Yeah. I'm sure I'll be doing that. I often wonder how some people take themselves seriously. Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird, Weird stuff. I mean, why would you need to keep quiet? Because most of the people that watch this channel think he's guilty because he is guilty. I mean, I'm just telling you, he's not guilty. He hasn't been found guilty yet. And the sad part about this case, if he's found not guilty, there will never be any more investigations. And you know what's going to be sick as hell? Is these same clowns, they're going to pretend they're out there looking for the real killer, and the real killer is Richard Allen, okay? But they're going to make, just spend so many years continuing to look around, et cetera, and there isn't another killer out there because he is the person. So all the people out there that just keep going, oh, no, he's innocent, you're going to be responsible. Your mentality, how it feeds and through society to the jury over these years, you're going to be responsible for a killer getting off, and there'll never be justice because you can't be tried twice for Abby and Libby. That's the truth. The information that's been put out in this case so far is just mind-bogglingly strong. Like, I know there's some shit that they screwed up on. They should have collected those sticks, but that's their error, and it might have had more information on it. They don't need that, though. Forget that piece. The bullet was found at the crime scene. It matched the ejection marks. Okay, you got that one. Now you might think, well, okay, let's give that 80% weight. Okay, you got that. And then all the timeline stuff that I just showed you. He is bridge guy. The bullet, you give 80% weight. Then he confesses to the crime calmly, measuredly, and then in one of the confessions that was documented, he confessed with information that only the killer would know regarding the white man. When you put that all together, it gives the jury permission and almost an obligation to find Richard Allen guilty. However, them looking at him being treated meanly in prison, that might make some of them go, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's get back at the man. Some bull crap like that. We don't even know how he was treated. It sounds like he spit on the guards and they had to put a bag over his head. Right? All right, guys. I think I'm gonna get out of here. Oh wait, there's somebody sitting right here. Hold on. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Angie.
Hey, what's going on?
Not shit, just working. I had a question for you. What time did the lady drive by and see the muddy, bloody guy? And what time did the father get to the Mears entrance?
Well, what does the father have to do with that?
Pardon me?
What do you mean? Whose father?
Libby's dad. When he was coming to pick him up.
Oh, yeah, Derek. Yeah, no, he got there at 3:15. He got there. And the muddy...
And what time?
At 3:15. So we've always known that Derek and the killer were in the general area at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, there was like at least 20 minutes of overlap time. And as a matter of fact, the weird part is he was at his car when the bridge guy would be walking likely behind the Mears property, because that was at 3:57. And when Betsy Blair drove by, there was a bunch of people standing next to the parking area. And then she passes the muddy and bloody guy, but he probably saw those same people and then went behind the Mears property and then the Hoosier Harvest store. So he's probably within 100 or so yards of Derek at that time.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
It is. And I 100% believe Richard Allen is guilty. But what do you think about the phone? Because I noticed the lady asked earlier, did you think it maybe got wet? But I don't know how rural this area is. But like right now, I'm at work at Georgia Pacific and on the Chattahoochee River, and sometimes we get phone signal and sometimes we don't. And when I leave here, if people have sent me messages while I'm at work, and as soon as I get to the highway to head home, all my messages come at once. So is that also a possibility? That just the signal out there was kind of sketchy.
Well, yeah, there's a tower right there, but she's so far down this steep hill, there's basically a mountain in the way of the signal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think that's the reason but that why all the messages came at once is that her signal was not as strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And then maybe the environment changes, the weather, and then somehow a signal bounced down there, and she got all of her text messages come through, and then what did it lose connection again after that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how that worked, but they want to make it seem like somebody brought her back to the crime scene. I mean, it's just insane, the whole thing.
Yeah, and with teens, myself, my daughter always carries her phone in her back pocket, right? And I'm thinking the reason that the phone was under Libby is when she put on, or Abby, excuse me, when she put on Libby's pants, the phone was in Libby's back pocket, and when
right, that's what I said. I've seen that on here, and people just go, "Oh, I don't know, man. They think it's inside of a shoe." I don't know. She actually clandestinely filmed the guy with the phone down low next to her side, and then, I don't know if she put it in her pocket. I think she probably put it in her pocket, and then when she tried to, I don't know if she actually tried to unlock it with her thumb. She might have just had it in her pocket, and her thumb went over the area, and it just didn't register it.
Yeah.
Like who knows if she tried to unlock it,
Yeah. Because sure, I would think that if Richard Allen saw the phone and was aware that she was videoing him, that he would have took it and threw it in the river at least, I mean, if I was in the middle of a crime and somebody videoed me, I would try to get rid of it.
But he didn't. He didn't know that anybody filmed him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. She had it hidden, and he didn't know that he was being filmed. And everyone's like, "Well, why do you take the phone? Because then what? You're gonna track yourself now?" I mean, I would just leave it right the hell where it was. If you didn't know that it filmed you, you would just leave it right there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, we appreciate your coverage, Grace. And look, I know you've been on the Nancy Grace show before.
Well, no, I haven't been on Nancy Grace. I've been on Court TV.
Oh yeah. But you need to get this video that with the dot. You need to get that to her and let her put it on for the America to see. For the people that don't have YouTube.
Well, I need you to explain it because I think even people when they're looking at it, you just have to know what you're looking at. But yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for the compliment. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye bye. And then up there was Emma Justice. All right, guys. We got to get the support going here. We're not even close. We got to get to the goals. What is Kelsey's opinion of everything? I thought you mentioned meeting with her for lunch. We haven't seen her at trial. What do you mean you haven't seen her at trial? She's been there. She testified early on. I'm sure I bet you she thinks Richard Allen did it. I mean, I haven't talked to her. I haven't talked to her for months now, because they weren't allowed to. So. But yeah, she's been at trial. Good night, Karen. A crowd of Odinists. A couple of creeps in a van. Yep. Libby's phone remained intact at the scene. I don't know what that means. And there's these people that show up and they go, look at Abby had Kelsey's, I mean, not Abby. Yeah, Abby had Kelsey's hair in her hand with a bulb. She must have pulled it off in a fight. And then look at Kelsey was texted one of the catfishing accounts to check. Yeah, I mean, so they checked the catfishing account because they saw it and went, hey, you know anything about Libby? Who cares? I mean, that's what anybody would do, But the crazy part isn't it obvious? Libby has Kelsey's sweatshirt with her, and then Abby put on the sweatshirt, pulling her arms through the sleeves, and a hair just got put on her hand. Because that's what the hair was. It was hers. It's so simple. It's almost scary. All right. think I'm gonna go rest. I'm tired. I know you guys want the show. I just can't. This is. How do I get rid of that? How do I unpin that? Hey, thanks, Choo Choo. Was the spot premeditated? Well, I think the spot was premeditated. Whether Abby and Libby were picked premeditatively, I don't know. I think he likely somehow knew the school that there was time off of school. It might not even been that though. People go to the trail to exercise. I've kind of dismissed the theory that maybe he would have followed Betsy Blair, perhaps, but I think she turned around too far away, 111 feet away. Thank you, the myth. I'm trying to. That's not the easiest thing in the world. When I go on to Court TV, I get trashed, like just into oblivion. And they even know that, like Court TV, they just go, great, hey, yeah, we get that. And they don't care. They like me because I'm not the same as their normal people they have on there. Okay, they have people on there that everybody's sort of like anti-prosecution in this one. And Vinny was he a prosecutor at one point? I think so. Great, you're in the Lord's Word. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And then Kimberly Faith. Oops, not that one. Well, thank you. I wish you guys would put questions in your super chats and everything. I think I'd love to hear your comments and like thoughts and questions so I can answer them. What do you mean, who's Kelsey? And by the way, it's K-E, her name is spelled Kelsi, not S-E-Y. Kelsey is the older sister of Libby. She was like 16 at the time. Libby was, I think she just turned 14, I think. And then Abby was 13. Yeah, she's awesome. She gained so much more confidence because she had to talk in front of lots of people. Yeah, the older sister, she drove them to the bridge, probably left their house at probably almost 140, really, because they got there at 149. So it only takes 10 minutes. So right around 139, they left their house. And that's only about 4 minutes after Richard Allen passed the three girls is when they left their house. So everything had it happen this really, it's just so crazy. When you watch this like this, just watch it just kind of I won't even speak and just, I guess I have to kind of speak. So the three girls, and then Richard Allen comes in. Just sort of watch how this all plays out like this. Watch. And then here comes Betsy Blair, and then Abby and Libby are dropped off. And then look, Betsy Blair goes that way, and then Abby and Libby come down. I think he walks back a little bit because he's not on the camera, then follows, and then Betsy Blair's gone. And look at that. At this moment, there isn't a soul in this park. There's nobody at trial. There was nobody that came forward. There was nobody. And then right around this time, that's when Brad Weber drives by. So for a moment, there's another movement that he goes over here and parks right there. So just for a moment, Brad Weber drives right by it, right here. They're right there, and there isn't a soul there. And then at a certain point, he must 232. So I don't know. Do you guys think they were alive a lot longer than 232? Because 232, her phone quit moving, but he doesn't leave there for another hour. So what is he doing there? I want to know what the hell's on Richard Allen's phone that's missing. I think he was taking pictures at that crime scene. And I bet you it's very difficult for them to figure out what the hell he was doing because they can't find his phone. That was 2017. He wasn't arrested until 2022. But what in the hell was on that phone? What if he just took pictures with that phone and then he transferred those images someplace and then got rid of the phone? There's no way to track that. Those aren't like in the cloud photos. Well, hell, look at that, you guys. Something just happened. We've made it to, we're only 38 short of the goal now. And then I'll donate 5 memberships. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Absolutely should sue for defamation. I imagine. Yeah, I'm just telling you. These. There, let me see what's going on over here. I hate giving people even their name mentioned. You know, and I think it's what's even more disturbing are some of the big names that all of you guys watch all these years. You know, the one named after a bear, etc. They're some of the biggest perpetrators of people believing a certain way. You know, they're sort of hedging though. It's kind of like, oh yeah, look at the prosecution. Oh man, that's garbage. That's garbage. The garbage. And at the very end, yeah, I always knew it was. Yeah, bullshit. You didn't know shit. I think it sucks that I'm virtually the only person that's talking like this. I mean, there's a couple more that are smaller, but of the larger channels, you know. Oh, God, that's it right there. What the hell was the one I was just looking at? Yeah, look at this right here, guys. This idiot says, bust DNA using that idiot Burkhart in the background. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Michelle After Dark's been a joke for years, you guys. She goes around telling people it's disturbing. She doesn't even know the case at all. Hey, look at that. It's Tammy Lee. And I don't want to be like, that's what we're talking about. I'm just telling you that I find it very, you know, these people in the Madeline Soto case, they go after Jennifer Soto, the mother, endlessly, over and 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 over again. With even after the detective said, yeah, you know what? We don't believe she knew anything at all. That's what they believe. They've actually got the information. They're looking at it, you know, and they're going after them because it's cool. It's the cool position, right? And then now we got this other case where it's almost as if they're defending Stephen Stearns, isn't it? Like this case here, if Stephen Stearns had killed 2 girls, would these people be defending him? That's what this guy is. Richard Allen is Stephen Stearns. It just happened years ago. And they're all defending Stephen Stearns, basically. How sick is that, you guys? Yeah, exactly, DM. I'm not that way at all. I actually think that Jennifer Soto is a victim of Stephen Stearns, who groomed her and her kid, and he made even things that seem really weird to normal people, it seemed normal to them because he groomed the daughter to not say anything. And it just seemed really obvious. And then I've been saying it, and then the detective said we do not believe, not even we can't find anything. They said, we don't believe she knew anything. That's it. That's it right there. Right now, if something pops up later, then I'll go, you know what? I was wrong, and I'll be just as mad at her as everybody else. But I don't see it the way other people do. And that makes people angry sometimes, but I don't give a shit. Yeah, I think I think what the difference is called integrity, DM. You know, I'd like to do as well as they do on their shows, but I'm not going to sell my soul for views and subs. I wish I could somehow financially have it be similar to them without doing that. But it's weird how you're not as popular if you don't go with the crazy. They have like 10, 11, 12,000 people watching live streams, just worshiping Richard Allen, trying to free the guy. All right, hey, 16 more, and we get to the 5 free memberships. All right, what do we got? Tammy Lee, and then praying for justice for Abby Libby. Yep. Well, I tell you what, if he's found not guilty, sadly, there will never be justice for the girls in this lifetime. And that's is an absolute truth. I am Bamboo Lulu. I am. I'm the best. I know the entire case, and I know how everything fits together. She takes great notes, though. I'll say that. Like really accurate information, straight through. It's almost like you're at trial. But if you want somebody that knows how to put it together and what it means, this is the place. What are your thoughts about Jen making the Woody Allen comment? Oh, you're back to that again? Yeah, we already talked about all that. She was probably she thought she was being overly dramatic in her mind, believing it, and sort of shut herself down. Yeah. I can't stand listening to her drone. I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, of the people covering this case, I know it better than anybody else out there. All right? Now, I might not say the opinion that you want, but when I'm listening to things being said, I know what it means because I've been following it. Let's see. We've got Susan. Yeah. He isn't on our side. Moonchild. Tom. That guy's... He's always talking about, maybe he's changed his mind, but like a week ago, he was like saying the same shit, let's see. Yeah, I started with, my first video on this case was February 3rd or 5th or something of 2017. I mean, literally, so my first video came out 11 days after the homicide, but I've been following it and writing about it, and we made a Facebook group from the night that they were missing. So there you go. And I know all the little side things. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff that, like, somebody that's been at the trial every day, they probably have know these little... maybe there's details out there in terms. I don't know. I think I would hear of anything of the big details. What I'm going to do, though, at some point is get the transcript of this trial. I don't give a shit what it costs. Might be $5,000, whatever the hell it is. We're getting it, and we're going to go through the entire thing. Look at that, Jessica Schubach, 58 months. That's probably the longest, I would think. I've been watching Gray since the beginning of the case, and he knows it 100%. Yeah. Yep. I know all of the things that matter in the case. There's these the little side ancillary things that people want you to pay attention to. I am not in Indiana. I had everything purchased to go to the trial, the hotel, everything ready to go the first time that it was supposed to be happened, and then it got delayed just like 2 weeks before the trial, and then life events happened before this one, and I wasn't able to go. But I went there last year in September for a documentary, and I spent, 3 days there or so, and went to the trail, took some really cool video. You guys want to see some of those at all, or Is there anybody here that hasn't seen my 360-degree videos from out there? I think you'd be pretty interested. I mean, they're interesting even if you watch it for the 19th time now. Yeah, it's like, wow, look at that. They're better than just having a camera walking around. I'll just do that later. Remind me later. They always have updates on this damn thing. Don't you hate it when there's like an update every day on a software program? Come on. It's kind of frozen up here for a second. Did it shut? Did it close? Hold on. There it is. Opened again. All right, Delphi. This is the X2. Yeah, so I actually put a one on my drone, if you can believe it. All right, so here's what we can take a look at first, though. This is inside the courthouse. I mean, this is like amazing, right? Watch this. So see this? You can just look around in here. Right? You don't have to. So this is what it looks like in there. Okay. So this is what everything what's happening right now. That's where the jury sits. Okay. That's the television, and they probably rolled that TV all the way in front of the jury over there, so that only they could see it. Right. The judge obviously sits there. Probably a court reporter there, and then I think the defense is maybe right there, and maybe and that's my wife back there with Robert Ives. I'm just walking around. Really cool courthouse. That's what it looks like, though, right? Yeah, and these are their seats. So we can actually look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then what is it? 1, 2, 3. Can't really see that very good. Let's see. Let me open up another one. Maybe that one. All right, here we go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 72 seats. Not too bad, I guess. I mean, it's not great either, but anyways, there you go. You see that? All right. It looks like a really old courtroom, but that's what it looks like in there. And Richard Allen's probably sitting at maybe this table over here, maybe. I mean, we don't really know, but he's one of these 3 seats. And then, let's see, what's this one? Oh, yeah, so this is interesting here for everybody. I have my car right here, parked. The abandoned CPS building used to be right back here. And I can make this full screen like that. That's probably better. Used to be parked back there. And so I'm right where he parked at the abandoned CPS building. Now see this road right there? That is going to be right over here. See, if you get out, if you park your car right there and you get out and you walk, that little sort of worn path that you see, this, I'm right here in the video like this. See that? Hey, look at that word. Oh, we made it. Okay, hold on a second. I can get the gift, the 5 memberships really quick. And here we go. There are the 5 memberships that I promised. So we got Jen, What's in a Name, Mia M, Alyssa Stedman, and Who else? Anybody? Hey, you got to make yourself available. Is this interesting for you guys? I mean, I hope you guys want to see this. Oh, tonight the Lord said, this is all so nice, different, but nice. I'm just a person doing a thing. This after hours and hours of belly aching that the law is being ignored in Delphi. This is also nice, different, but nice. Huh. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of them out there. They just... Anyway, so this is the... Let's get back to this. There's me trying to get my glasses on. But this is the walk right here. So looking at that, see that going around this curve right there? See that? So this is where Richard Allen would have gone, just like this. Watch. You know, just right around through here. Took a little trail to the Monenheim or the Freedom Bridge right here.
It's interesting to finally see this.
I don't really need the voice, but see that. But while we're walking, I can look anywhere. See that? There's my wife back there. She's pretty little, but she's the one that does all those Halloween lights all by herself. It's pretty amazing, right? Yeah, so we'll just go to the end. So when Richard Allen was coming in, he was right here. And he, did I go back that way? Hold on a second. Oops, shoot. I'm not sure what I just did right there. Hold on. Share screen. Share screen. Entire screen. That one. Yeah, all right. So right here, see where the trees start? That's where, and look, see, we just came around like that. This is where he passed the girls, right getting into there. Anyways, let me, you guys can't see it yet. I gotta, shoot, Jesus. Hold on. There you go. Let me go back so you can see what I was talking about. Right here. See how the woods start? When you look back, there's the Freedom Bridge back there. There's Highway 25. So it was right inside those woods, but there was no leaves on the trees at that point. Here, hold on. Let me get this. There's a person here. Hello? This is Beth.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? I guess I have to bring you up on it.
I was trying to call you, but I couldn't find the number, so I had to go through this StreamYard.
Well, that's the only way to do it.
And the phone number is good too.
But you don't have to have, if you don't want to have your face on there, you can just use the StreamYard. But I don't know how to do it. But
I don't know how to do it.
anyways, you're already on. So what do you got? What do you got?
Oh, well, I wanted to talk to you about this. How did he know that they were there? So did he know that they were coming to the bridge? Like, there just seems to be, like, everything lines up so neatly.
Yeah.
Right?
It does seem like that. It seems like he was there to meet them. Yeah, law enforcement always said they thought that they were targeted. And when he passed the three girls, he had his head down and it looked like he was on a mission. And then Betsy Blair said that it looked like he was waiting for somebody. So
do you think he just went up there to stalk this bridge every now and then to see what he could get?
And that's what it sort of sounds like now, except it's hard for me to get out of my mind the Keegan Klein Dropbox connection, that because he might have known that they were going there that weekend. So I don't know, where he got it or.
And it was at the same time, same place, same day off, same like this thing happened in only about an hour and a half. The whole thing was over. So and somebody else you talked to said that this actually is close to town, but it's not heavily traveled. Like it's an open.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've never even been there before, but live there.
But he had been there, and he knew everything about it. I even think he knew where these cameras were. The trail cameras. Like it was like a stakeout point. I just find it hard to believe that he was he either got very, very lucky and other people were not lucky. Yeah, I just think that
Yeah.
that is amazing. It's amazing. Is this Keegan Klein going to testify?
Apparently for the defense. I don't know what for, but we'll see how it goes. I think
Yeah.
they're trying to make it look like he was railroaded. So they're doing the same thing to Richard Allen, but they never charged him with the homicide. Richard Allen fits every question. Who was the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building? Whose bullet was left at the crime scene? Who's bridge guy? It just goes on and on. He answered every one of them.
And even when he even confessed, or the things we're hearing about the confession, they kind of give us all of the answers for the rest of the stuff. Was, he was at the bottom of the hill. Why didn't he go across the hill? Well, now we know. Why was he so there was no essay? Well, now we know. He was too rushed. He had to get out.
Yeah. And he had like 2 problems going for him. He drank 3 beers and he crossed the river. So who knows? Yeah. So maybe he couldn't do it,
Yeah. Do you think, I'm wondering, they're talking all about this Haldol and medication and what was wrong with them and serious mental illness. Do you think the psychiatrist has to order medication? So they're asking people about the effects and the reason the medication were given when they were not the people that prescribed it. So the guy who prescribed it, is he going to be a witness? This Dr. Miller, the psychiatrist?
I don't know. My whole thing is I just don't really, this whole psychological angle, even though that's sort of the main defense thing, it just seems like when they see the confessions where he's totally calm and lucid and just it should just override any of that other mumbo jumbo. See, psychology often creates problems just because I just feel like sometimes it's just sort of mumbo jumbo, like, oh yeah, therefore he had this. And when you're a psychologist, you want something to be true so that your profession is like validated or something. But sometimes I just look at it and go, yeah.
But that Haldol was given for a reason, and it's because he continued to act up, right? That's what we call them. These are acting out behaviors. If you're, people have to put a bag over your head because you're spitting at them, if you're throwing food around, if you're doing stuff in your cell, this is all for show. It was like, then you get Haldol because nobody can control you. You're violent, you're spinning, you're going to kill yourself, you're going to kill somebody else. That's why these medications are used, not because he has a serious mental illness. A lot of times it's used to
just to kind of keep him calming down artificially, like he wouldn't be
get some sleep, to regroup, and high levels of anxiety, high levels of depression. Like, who wouldn't be? If you were in there and you wanted to confess and nobody lets you because they're going to be so kind to the family and put everybody through this, that's, I don't know. I can't even understand that.
Yeah, man, I guess that'll be sort of interesting. Why did they give it to him? Was it because he was acting out? Because a lot of them didn't believe what he was doing.
I think
like they didn't think he was actually had psychosis. I mean, one of them thought he had psychosis, but most of them thought he was just acting out because of the timing. It's like when people were looking at him, he was like, and he was acting up. But when nobody's looking at him, he's normal.
Well, people with personality disorders, who often these people have, this is the kind of business I'm in. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a psychiatric nurse, but if you're going to kill yourself chronically, ongoing, every day, you will be kept away from other people, and you will be made isolated. You will have special trades. You will have less recreation stuff, and there are some pretty serious, nasty behaviors that come out of people, and all the things that they've talked about. And it sounds to me like he's only gotten a bit of Haldol. That's pretty good, but when you start to hear, I've been in situations where I've had to put a mask on my face because patients are spitting at me. It's the worst.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say before I didn't even know what you do, but I was saying I don't think it's like, quackery stuff, but I think there's some times when you're in court, why the defense has a psychologist and then the prosecution has one, and they're always at odds with each other just by nature. So then you ask yourself, well, then that means that it's not really, it's a lot of. I think a lot of psychology is like subjective. Like, what are you seeing? Like, what do you believe is going on instead of actually being an absolute answer?
The point of the psychiatrist is that would be the person that gives you the diagnosis. Does he have a major mental illness? And if he still did it. Like, that's not the issue. That he had to be treated for. You don't just go around giving people Haldol. You have to have consent. They would have probably had to call his wife and say, look, he's acting crazy. We have to do something.
Yeah.
Can we give him this drug? She probably said yes. That's how it works in the biz, and it's not nice to have patients spitting at you, throwing food at you, and these are behaviors, but these are not common behaviors of someone who suffers from a long-term mental illness.
Sounds like he put a bag on his head. Like they put a bag over his head because he was spitting on people.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I know, but the thing is he should expect having a bag thrown on his head if he's spitting on people, right?
Yeah.
What else are you supposed to do? Just sit there and let him keep spitting,
we used to put masks on people's faces and cover ourselves, but it is common, and the drug of choice in that type of emergency situation where other people are being injured, you could be injured, the patient could be injured, and you give them help off. They go to sleep, wear it off, wake up, less anxiety, look at a brand new day. And these behaviors do exist to a high degree. They're common, they happen all the time, and
But what about this isolation thing that they're talking about? I mean, is that can that make you just go nuts? There's other people in isolation. They're not nuts.
No, true. But he seemed to continue with this behavior for a very long period of time, like months, like every day for months, like, eating his Bible, doing crazy things that were harm to himself. I feel like he wanted to not, honestly, I feel like he was a malingerer who did not want to move out into any other place. I think he felt safe there, and if he continued to do these things, he would have to stay there. I don't know what other options there were for housing him. Being in solitary, he had stuff. Look, people I look after who are in constant observation is what they're called. They have no books. They have no phone. They have no tablet. They have a different outfit, and they are looked at for 24 hours a day through cameras in a hospital and through people looking at them. This is not a big deal. It's not uncommon. Sounds like he got out, he got to see people, he got to see his therapist. She only sounds to me like she was somebody who wanted to help him, advocated for his wife and tried to say, online people aren't saying that bad of stuff about you. I don't think there's an issue with her and her integrity, unless, of course, she was at work going through on Google, in her spare sessions, reading about it. That would get you in trouble as a professional. But yeah.
So what's your overall feeling of that? The psychology that we've heard about. I mean, this is such a poorly. I mean, we don't get to hear every word that everybody says. It's just kind of like notes.
They don't offer. They say things like, they don't offer. Okay, if he is mentally ill, what is his mental illness? I've heard dependent personality disorder, which means he has a personality disorder. This is how people with personality disorders act, unfortunately. They get very desperate, very creative about how they're going to hurt themselves or hurt you. That happens. I've heard he had depression and anxiety. Well, who wouldn't, right? Psychosis, those behaviors are not indicative of someone who's psychotic. It's like they're intentional, they're intended. A lot of older people do it because they're bored. A lot of people smear food, they smear feces. It's, but nobody's been able to tell us what our diagnosis is or what the medication was ordered for. So that's why I wondered the psychiatrist who would be the person to say, like, you don't just go around and say, oh, we're on a team. What do you think's wrong with him? Do you think he's seriously mentally ill? The definition of that is usually schizophrenia, manic depressive disorder, and he doesn't look like any of those. Like, and people with mania and schizophrenia do not do those things, so he doesn't match. So I'd like to know what the diagnosis is. Then we would know more. I would know more. I'd say, oh, okay.
Well, maybe we should maybe when we get more psychology stuff maybe coming up, you can call back in and tell us what you said.
I'll come back in this thing. I don't know how to get, but I don't know how I got here. But
well, you clicked on the link that said StreamYards and it worked. Just it'll still be pinned at the top or something.
Okay, I'll try and not just be getting ready for. I will. Yeah, we should talk about it. I am always interested to talk to Lauren and John because they like, it makes me really mad when people say things like, oh, Haldol, made him tell the truth. Well, it's not a truth serum. It's not a truth serum. It makes me mad because people who are unwell deserve treatment, and guess what? Sometimes it's like this. They get better. Clearly he's gotten better. He's sitting up there having a coffee, so yeah. I will. Anyways, this is a new channel. I have looked around at what other people are saying, and I cannot watch it. It's so terrible.
I'm just saying, I'm 100%. I am certain that the bridge guy is Richard Allen. I'm not like, now whether you want to say somebody else killed him, great, but he's at least responsible for abducting the girls. There is zero chance that he's not the bridge guy. Okay, and that's the thing. I've mapped it out. He is bridge guy, so that's all. That's all I need to know.
After you took him off the bridge and you put him down the hill, I think that's the exact place he was because of this. Oh yeah, the last thing.
That little corner back there.
People are confused about this van. Now, people are saying, and I don't believe it, that the information about the van was available, so he could have known. I don't think that's
there's people. I know that's what Barbara. I know that there's people that probably talked about, like, there's what's his face had a van. Maybe he was driving by, but it's not in the notes for him to look at, and I don't know any reason why he would just put it in there where it's so perfect. Nobody knew about the timing of the van. That's where the difference is nobody knew the timing of the van. And so whether or not he heard about it, how did he know that the van? So I guess that's where you could focus in on is, okay, he heard about a white van. Let's just pretend that he somehow heard about a white van. How did he know to put it right in there where, my God, it was perfect. What it means is that it's perfect because that's when the van was there. That's how nobody knew about that. That was only gotten recently, like in August, that information about the timing of it.
You have to get a super sticker that has a white van. That's what you need to do. Super sticker with a white van. The last thing is he was able to say that he did not essay the girls. Is that something that he would have found out in the discovery hearings, that the girls were not?
Yeah, that's in discovery. That's been known for, I've known that for a long time, so I would even say that, like on the show, that they were surprised how little DNA, but that was through a source from a long time ago. But I think even in the documents it says that, so he would have seen that.
He would have known that.
Yeah.
Well, his story actually answers all the questions about where they went down the hill, why they went across,
whose bullet was at the crime scene, whose bridge guy,
and why the sticks were there. I think that this.
Yeah, he even mentions the sticks. He covers them with sticks. That's right. But that the thing about the sticks wasn't. We'd heard like leaves and so forth, but it wasn't really. That wasn't a big known thing that there were sticks placed on them like that. So I don't know about that either. But
I felt like it was when you go through that trail. Now somebody went through there, and I was watching. There's those big, huge branches everywhere. The trees.
Well, I'm going to be showing that here in a minute. I've shown this before on the show. So
And when you look at what,
watch it, because I go through the woods and I actually show you people how many branches there are. They're all over the place.
I know they are all. I feel like he picked them up whenever was around, then he heard voices, and he put them.
I think he started to put branches on them, then he left after he heard voices. Yeah.
He started to put them in places where the most red would show. I think that's my theory. Right on their necks, and he pulled Libby, and where he pulled her was to tuck her in behind a tree. If you know, right there where the drag mark came.
Distract her a little bit.
Yeah,
there's very little DNA exposure or anything like that.
He didn't take her to the river. He pulled her, nestled her a little bit more into the tree.
Yeah, trying to hide her from view from the other side.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Okay, well, Gray, I'll see you when we get more of this psychiatrist stuff on.
Cool. All right, awesome.
You can turn me off. I don't know how to get out of here.
Oh, well, you just close the window out. But okay, I'll remove. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Let's see you. Bye. Oh, wait, how do I do that? Oh, kick from studio. That must be it. All right. And I'm not doing any more call-ins, okay? So I was out there. I'll go back here. There's this just really wacko person named Jinx. They were out there. They got there. They knew I was coming for some reason, but I'm there with Robert Ives, the prosecutor at the time, and this wacko girl right here said that I'd been covering the Florida fire case for years, and I've only covered it one time in my life. And then she says, well, I deleted all my videos. What a joke. Jesus. Anyways, they tried to block our way, and it just sucked. They blocked our way on purpose. Then we got by them. Let me see if I go back here a little bit. Yeah, so there's a bench coming up here. I'm not sure. So I think there's a bench over here. Might have passed it a minute ago, but see, he's turning around to talk to them because they were just being idiots. And I said, hey, first they thought I was the other guy. See, this lady here is just a really bad person. She's not good. She pretends like, and she's everybody's favorite, running around to different groups. She's just not a good person. Anyways, we go all the way out to the bridge here. I think at some point we passed so we were already past the parking spot. Yeah, he's right there. There's Robert Ives. He's walking with him. And we make it around the corner finally. I'm just speeding it up. And there's the bridge back there. And it's cool how you can just kind of look around on these cameras like that, right? Just kind of look up in the air. Yeah, there's only 600 and something people watching because I'm sure one of the idiotic attorneys is doing a show right now, and there's thousands of people sucking the oxygen out of the room, okay? And it's also Saturday night at 12 o'clock on the East Coast time. So here is the bridge now. There used to just be a bridge where, the barricade was about right there, though. And then the bridge starts there, and then the first platform was quite a ways out there. And there's a trail that you can walk on that went right there. And this is what it looks like now. And as you can see, the water is clear. If you look down there, you could see a fish if it was clear. You really could if you wanted to. You can see into the water, see how the rocks are in there and everything. And then right up here is what the bridge still looks like. I mean, that's what it looked like back then, is the continuation at this point. And that's platform 3 right up there. So there you go. See? And you know, that's what it looks like out there. All right, so let me do. I had a drone that flew around the side of it. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I think it's. Is it that one? Probably this one right here. I already. Okay, did the next one over. Maybe that one. Let's see. Does it take off? All right. Yeah, there you go. There's a drone flying in the air. So you can look all over the place. See that? That's underneath the bridge there. But the time in February, there's no leaves on any of these trees, so you can see all over the place. So here we go. I'm going down now. Or I'll go back a little bit. All right, here we go. See how you can see into the water there? Pretty clear. What happened, Laura Stone? What's funny, Laura Stone? What's funny, Christine? What's funny, Dale? Okay. Okay, go up in the air. Let me show you this. No, that's not. What program is this? Oh, this is Google Earth. Okay, right now we're flying around and we're in the water. I think right now we're looking at that tree right there is what we're seeing in this next, in the shot right here. That's this one. See how it's leaning in the water? That's what that tree is. Coming around, and we'll see the shallow area here. I think I make it to about right there. I was kind of nervous to fly up too high. I should have just gone up above and flown. I don't know why I didn't do that. I was getting close to those branches. Yeah, so let's see if we can see that branch or something. Maybe it's in the water. So I made it about right there. Yeah, I think you can see that tree sticking out. That one hanging over the water right there. I think that is this one right there. And then this one, that tree right there, that's where the crime scene is, behind it. That other tree sticking out right there. Okay, so how this is all looking from above. So that's where my drone is right now. Drone made it there. I even put that in there. The crime scene's right there on that one tree that sticks out over the water. See that? Then the other one we were looking at was that tree. So it's right there and then behind. And then, obviously, if you're where I was on the bridge originally, standing there, we're probably like right in this area. And then you have to go all the way across. Then there's a private drive there that goes underneath. Okay. And oh yeah, I was at the ballpark too. This is kind of cool, really quick. I'll get back to another one, but look at right there. Chris and Gray and Chris, the Freak family. And that's my brother right there. And then we have some other ones in here too. But we have bricks all over the place. So this is the actual ballpark.
The Freak family. Justice for Abington.
Yep, see, Justice for Abington. See that?
Great guy. Today.
Right there.
Yeah, my brother was half.
So that was cool, huh? And then if you want to see what the whole ballpark looks like, I'll show you that really quick. Might be on this one, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, see, I'm up in the air here. So there it is. That's what the ballpark looks like. What don't you get on this channel, everybody? What don't you get, huh? See, there's the ballpark. Now they want to pave this parking lot there. The bricks are way over there, underneath that thing. That's where the bricks are. And Becky's right there. Oh, that's me. I'm actually right there talking to Becky, and I'm just letting the drone fly by itself. My wife's right next to it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's pretty fun. All right, let's see. Let me get the X3. This is the cool footage right here. All right, here we go. Here we go. This one's an interesting one. So this is the better. I have two 360-degree cameras. One's lighter, so I use it on my drone.
Oh, there you go.
This one is a little heavier, better, way better.
360-degree camera.
And they have a new version out that's even more clear. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Fun.
So right now Kelsey's with us right there, and my wife. And remember that trail I was just telling you about? That's what goes up here like this. And so this goes, you can walk all the way to the crime scene on this one.
Pretty wide open. Hopefully my video will make it so nobody really has to come out here too much. I'm doing 360 degree. You can stop at any position.
I wonder if they're making a trail out here because this didn't ever used to look this clear.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, LM messaged me. It is true that nobody actually knew factually at all that the girls weren't assaulted until the information came out. I think it's in the.
Wow, it looks like
I don't know if it's in the documents at all, but
hiking.
It wasn't something that was known. People thought there was DNA and stuff like that.
I really was expecting you to walk around that.
Yeah, but anyways, look at the ground here. Watch this. Look at all of these Odinistic runes on the ground, everybody. There is just a treasure. There must have been an Odin convention out here. I mean, look at that right there. Ooh, my God, a T of some sort with a little V at the end. That's got to be something. Probably from the king himself. Oh, look at that. I mean, my God, there was a party right there. Look at the number of twigs and branches there. My God, people. See how easy it would be out here to just be on the ground and pick up a branch and put it on one of the girls? Yeah, we know it was a joke, Christine. It was a joke. Yeah, we get it. We get it. See, they're back there. She has her baby with her at the time. It was pretty young. And we're just walking along. So where we're going right now on the map is like this. Right here. You walk around like this, and then eventually you can make your way to the crime scene. Now there happens to be right in there a ravine. It kind of comes down. You can sort of see it-ish, especially if you go to a different map. Like if you go to Not that one, but like this one. See how you can see it right in there, right there? So that definitely comes up here in a minute. That was pretty cool of her to come out and show us the spot. I didn't let her go down that steep hill. But I mean, look at all these branches, everything, all over the place. And this is way above the river right now. So look at this, though. Can you see that? Look at that. Just absolutely this deep trend. They mentioned this at the trial. They talked about this ravine here at the trial. That was kind of interesting. But once you get down past the ravine, it flattens out down there. So this is way up higher. And I think on Google Earth, if we were looking at that, it's probably, I mean, you can sort of see it even if you go down here and you look at like that. See how it's high right in there? So I think it's pretty much right in this spot is the ravine right there. That's the ravine. So then you go down and then you start walking this way. I think I only made it to like right here. I didn't know where the crime scene was. I knew it was in that area, but I didn't know exactly where it was because I didn't have GPS or anything.
Yeah. So this is generally the area.
It's right across from here.
But later.
Man, I was so hard walking up that hill, up that thing. That thing's like 45-degree angle. Look at this. Look at that. That's sideways. It's that steep. Look at that. It's ridiculous. So then you come down here, and there's the ravine. And then I'm making my way across over some more odinous sticks. I almost passed out walking up that thing. It was like doing a ridiculous stair climber thing for...
Like somewhere in here, kind of? There's a barbed wire fence in here.
Yeah, so I kept moving a little bit back here. So I think it's right up in there. I didn't make it there, though. They told me that there were like poison ivy or something out there. So then I only had those tennis shoes with shorts on. I got kind of nervous because look at how thick that is there. I didn't know what the hell that was. So I guess I meant it a little bit further. Yeah, so the crime scene is just right up in there. So I think on the map, like I was saying, there's the ravine right here. So I'm probably right there. Just about made it. Almost made it there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. A little blurry little shot you got there, that's how I was feeling. I was like going. Anyways, so all these branches of the greenery you see, it doesn't exist. It would kind of look more like that everywhere, just bare, and you could see a lot further. And right up above there is the cemetery, and to the right of that is Ron Logan's property. So you're going up. So you had to go up that steep hill to get to the cemetery. It's right there. So being down there, you go up the steep hill off to the left, And basically, if you went into that ravine, it would lead you right up to the cemetery, and then from there you go out on the 300 that direction. All right, man, it just died down in here, you guys. Unreal, unreal. Anyways, hope you guys liked the videos. I am going to get the hell out of here. I appreciate everybody showing up. Karen, Wendy Van Rokel, Esther M. gifted a membership, then G4L4 something or other. God, I don't know if that's a GA Mom, new member, then Esma Budgets, then Kirst, Cassandra, Mia Pierce, Brandon Collins, Esma Budgets, Kirst, Cassandra, then Allie Cake, Wendy Woobles, Lisa Valenzuela, 20 months, Kathy Friedenmaker, Allison Fay, Sandy Shirley, Richard Watts, Michelle H., Eric's Plot Coupon, Lisa Valenzuela, B. Sir, Mia Pierce, gifted a membership. Then we've got Emma Justice. And thanks everybody for supporting the channel, reaching the goal again. Emma Justice, then Edith Puthi, Bren Mannock, My 2 Cents, Billy, Ashlyn Carter, Ashleela Smith, Felicia Daly, Sandy's Sirius, then Brianna is a new member, then Julia Burns, Naomi, Emma Justice, Choo Choo, The Myth, Kimberly Faith, Choo Choo again, then Christy B, Poppy, The Myth, Tammy Lee, Brianna, The Myth, then Kathy Stanberry, Christy B, and then I gifted 5 memberships. Then we had Choo Choo again, and then Little Puppy Paws. All right. Have they said if they will be releasing the audio of the trial ever? I don't think so. I think they'll have the transcripts to answer Christy B's question. Probably have the transcript at some point. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for being here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Not sure what tomorrow will bring, but we'll be here tomorrow. I might make a video. I don't know. I think I need to make a video that has this in it. Like, look, you guys. See that? And then the pool, I took his face while he was playing pool, and it looks similar. There's nothing you can say, oh, that's not him. There's a face that goes right over the top of it. Fits in there because it's him, right? And then that's his body shape is the same. And then just, show all those other pictures of him in 2017 that they're not letting into trial. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everybody who called in, etc. Thanks, Lillian, as well on PayPal. And I guess that's it. Wait. And there's, Lillian right there. All right. All right, guys. We'll see you later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. I don't know if you guys can even hear this rap. I'm not sure how it works on this program, but here we go. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person. Thanks, Esther. That is a crime dissector, a thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
Okay, bye.